Welcome to the Flynn Effect podcast, where we dive deep into all things culture, industry news, and history, all with the goal of helping our clients to perform better. Hello, John Marianetti.
Hello.
Welcome back to the podcast after a very long time.
It has been a long time.
I think you may have been the second guest.
I think I was.
And we started at the beginning of 2025 in January. So how many months are we in? 10?
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, you've been behind the camera many a time, so
Many
you
times.
know what's going on over here. But
yeah.
you've been a busy guy. What's going on in your world?
Well, we've been very busy, fortunately, with some video work, a lot of travel, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. So we've got a lot of deadlines. It's getting towards the end of the year. Everybody wanted work done before the end of the year.
Yeah,
So
get those budgets used up.
Get those budgets used up. So we got a lot of calls in August and September. People came back from vacation saying,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, I have a lot of work to do, and you're just the person to do it." So
Oh,
here we are.
John.
But it's all good.
Oh.
We thrive on the energy that comes with multiple deadlines.
Yes.
I take that. Multiple projects, very similar deadlines.
Yeah.
That's different. But yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I was just talking to a prospect yesterday, and we were like, it's so much better to be busy than bored, really.
Absolutely.
Especially in the agency world. You get a little bit of time to yourself, and you're sort of like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm either about to get a ton of work dropped on my lap,
Yeah.
or I got to go out and find something.
Yep. Kevin and Chris always used to say, if you want something done, give it to somebody busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very true.
Yeah.
Like if I have an entire day, like a whole Friday to just go pick up a prescription, I will not do it. But like if I've got 20 minutes at lunch,
Yeah.
it's getting done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can chip through a lot of stuff very quickly. I tell my wife I should have been a farmer or a Marine. I can get more done by 9 o'clock in the morning than most people do all day
I know.
sometimes. Yeah.
And you're an early riser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
Get a head start.
Love that for you.
Yep. Thank you.
Well, all right. So lately we have been having conversations. I mean, as we're speaking about like finding work and, all of those types of things, about building your network and the importance of that in your career. And I think in advertising and in an agency in particular, it's very important. And in your role as an executive producer, it is, of course, very important.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it applies to so many different things. So we figured we'd just sit down and talk a little bit about that. Like, what does that look like? And for you specifically in your career, like, what have you looked for in people while you've been growing your network?
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's a good discussion, and I have it with the staff a lot, with the creative team a lot, and we're always trying to elevate the work, right? We're always being charged to elevate the work. We want to do it professionally, creatively, because that's just what excites us, but we also owe our clients the best work that we can do, and by doing that means putting the best people on the team to help us accomplish that. And so building your network, at least in my world, and in the creative world, is so important because you're always looking for people that can bring something that maybe we didn't think of, right? So, but what I have found over the years is you see work, you see something on Instagram or LinkedIn, you see some finished work, you fall in love with the work.
Yeah.
But you don't really know who did it. And so I've been trying to reach out to people over the years and saying, I really, admired the spot that I just watched or something that I just saw. And I try to connect with these people and talk to them because yes, you fall in love with the work, but with all work comes a personality.
Sure.
Right. And so you get the personality that comes with the great work that you see. And sometimes it's for good and sometimes not so good. Right. So what I ask a lot of people when I talk to them is, tell me a little bit about your process. I try to do less talking, surprisingly from me. I try to do less talking because you don't want to tip your hand.
Sure.
Right. You don't want to say like, well, we've been in a situation where this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened. What would you do differently? All they're going to tell you is the opposite of what the experience that we just had. So I'll cite something and I'll say, I really like that spot that you did. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure.
How did you work? Where did you do it? How many people were on your crew? Right? That sort of thing. Because it's important to know their process because you don't want to get stuck and have a little buyer's remorse, if you will, with somebody that's going to bring a non-collaborative approach, a little bit of an attitude that maybe we don't want to deal with, because elevating the work is a collaborative process. And so you want to work with somebody who you're going to enjoy spending time with, who's going to help you achieve the goal that we're trying to get for our client.
Yeah, get the vibes high, if you will. Yeah, it's interesting. So we're actually interviewing for a couple of positions, which is great, and it's always nice when we're like growing and adding new folks to the team and all of those things. But it had been a little while. And so now I'm sort of in this headspace too of asking similar questions, right? Like an interview process is much the same as
Exactly the
even when you
same.
go to coffee with somebody just to get to
Exactly.
know them.
Right.
And a lot of the conversations I've been having too have been, okay, you're not necessarily right for exactly what we're looking for this thing.
Right.
However, I think there's a lot of opportunity, more so now than probably ever, for us to have kind of like a roster of folks that we can reach out to for specialized things. Like, okay, you're amazing at healthcare campaigns.
Right.
Great to know. Okay, you have, launched direct to consumer brands time and time again. Great to know those types of things. And I think post COVID, there's this a little bit more of like a distributed model of like, okay, we've got our core staff,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got a lot of specialists that we reach out to help us get smart or bring a new skill or a new style of shooting or
Right.
whatever that might be, to make that work amazing.
It is so important to build a network with the specialties that we're looking for. And that's what I'm saying is that I see something in some work and I'm going like, man, that is really cool.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything on my desk right now that we could use that for,
Right.
but I'm going to reach out to that person now anyway, because I want to get to know them a little
Yeah.
bit. And you kind of store that away and think, okay, when something comes across our desk, a creative piece that you think like, oh my gosh, I'm going to reach back out to so-and-so because he
Yeah.
or she may be the right person for this opportunity. You don't want to be looking for somebody when you need to be looking for
Right.
somebody.
Then you're in a rush.
You're in a rush. I'm a little overwhelmed. I panic a little bit. And so what do? You tend to fall back to who's safe, who you've worked with in the past, and they may not be the right person for the job.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's nice to have coffee to talk if it's local,
Yeah.
but technology has made our world much smaller. Geography is really not much of an issue anymore, especially
Yeah.
when you're reaching out to people. We had a conversation yesterday with a creative director who lives in San Francisco,
Yeah.
just to kind of test the waters, see what you're working on, right? So just to kind of see if maybe in the future, this is somebody I may want to collaborate with.
Yeah.
So it's very important to do that work in our downtime. Like that's when I have some time,
Mm-hmm.
is I'm going to scroll the internet. I'm going to look around. I'm going to see what's out there, see what's new, because we're always trying to elevate the work in something different. What are people doing? Everything changes so fast.
Yeah.
But then who did that?
Yeah.
And then have a conversation with that person. And I've been very, very successful in reaching out and finding people that have helped us just bring the work up to a point where it was so much better in the finished piece than it was of what we concepted.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. I found a director of photography and a director who specializes in golf. And just by scrolling the internet, and I linked in with him,
Yeah.
and within 15 minutes, I had a message. And it's 10 o'clock at night. He's on the West Coast. My phone rings because we exchanged phone numbers and we talked. We ended up hiring this person for the job. It was great. He introduces us to a colorist because the look that we wanted to have, we thought we really want to reach out to somebody that has experience in golf.
Yeah.
Took that to a whole nother level. And then in the post-production phase, we realized we needed something composited, and we tapped into his network.
Right.
So we had a project from start to finish with 3 main players that we brought into our team that we didn't know before the project.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. The experience was amazing because we got along, we collaborated, and the personalities that everybody brought to the party was just as important as the finished work that we got.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that interesting, like the interconnected web that can happen so quickly, right? It just multiplies
Yeah.
really fast
And
if
you
you're
become a
tapping
part of
into
their
someone
network.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I actually just had 2 thoughts as you were speaking about that. The first is, I do think a lot of people who are perhaps like younger in their careers, and honestly, I'm guilty of this sometimes, think, oh my gosh, it's going to be so awkward. It's going to be like just so much work to go sit down and have coffee with somebody that you
Right.
don't know. But it can be really low pressure. You can say, let's just meet for 20 minutes and get to
Absolutely.
know each other. And, it doesn't have to be an hour and a half like lunch date.
Right.
It can just really be coffee.
Right. And what you learn in that coffee meeting is a little bit about their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
How much experience do you really have? Like
Yeah.
just because I like the project that brought me to this point,
Yeah.
and you tell me a little bit about that, you realize that, well, maybe we can actually help them.
Yeah.
We can help them elevate the work a little bit, right?
True.
Because people just work in their comfort zone. And so they push us, we push them. And it's a great relationship builder to
Yeah.
have those conversations. I have probably a half a dozen people that I'm just waiting to work with
Hmm.
that we talk to all the time. And you check in with them and you talk to them, but it's just not right.
Right.
Right. But I'm waiting for an opportunity to go, I've got something.
Right.
Because not everybody is right for everything.
Of course.
And what you don't want to do is give somebody a project that you're technically then setting them up to fail. They're
Yeah.
not going to meet the expectations. So that's the first part. The second part about getting to know their personality and their work process is because in our business, in the film and video business, especially in broadcast production, it's one of the only times that our clients show up and watch us work.
Yeah.
They don't watch us concept.
Yeah.
They don't hang over someone's shoulder and watch them write. But when there's a production, it's showtime.
Yeah.
So
We
you
love
want
Video Village.
we love Video Village, right? And so people show up and now they're watching and you're
Yeah.
exposed,
Yeah.
right? So you want to make sure that everybody on the team that you've assembled
Mm-hmm.
is a good fit for us,
Yeah.
isn't going to embarrass us,
Yeah.
isn't going to put us in a situation that's awkward for our clients, because we want them to enjoy the process.
Yeah. You got to
right?
have the right person for the right job, you
Yeah.
know, all along the way. And you're in a position where there's a lot of people that you're putting into place, you know, for a production.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Where, I think years ago, you tended to just go back to the same people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of shooters that we liked. We had a couple of photographers that we liked, and we tried to fit these talented people into situations that they weren't going to excel.
Right.
And so you had to kind of expand a little bit. And like I said, you don't want to be looking for somebody when you need to find somebody.
Yeah.
So a lot of the effort goes in ahead of time and just get to know people. And we try to share. I met somebody and invite people in, share your reel, share your book with our team so that they can start thinking about it.
Right.
And like you talked about before, that we become now part of their network, right? So it's really a wonderful experience because, again, we can go anywhere
Yeah.
and work with anybody if you put the work in to finding those right people and then
Right.
putting those people into the right jobs.
Yeah. And I think the second thing I was going to say is it's a great reminder of why it actually is very important to work on your personal brand, as cheesy as it
Sure.
might be to
Yeah.
call it that, which is something, admittedly, I was very resistant to for a long time. I'm a lot more active on LinkedIn, especially because of this podcast. It's really easy to just repost clips and things like
Sure.
that share perspective. And for whatever reason, sometimes it's easier for me to like speak my thoughts rather than, type them out. I get overthinky and stuff. However, it has helped tremendously to grow the connections that I have on LinkedIn. I do have chats with people just, in my messages and whatnot. And so especially for people who are in creative fields that have portfolios or work that they can be sharing, it's a great argument for putting more of that out there because, how are people going to find you?
Right. Exactly. Yes, it's very important for people to put their work out there, but then be open to discussing it.
Yeah.
Right. Because
Yeah.
I think we talked about that the other day when I was in your office and you were talking about interviewing somebody. And I said, don't fall in love with the work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Just don't fall in love with the book because of course the book's going to be amazing. That's the table stakes. Everybody can do amazing work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that what did it take to get there?
Sure.
Right. And so also you can double check these people with your own network. You can link in with somebody and find out that they're a connection with somebody that we have in common. You can reach out to that person and say, I'm considering talking to so-and-so.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Where did you bump heads? What,
Right.
what worked, what didn't? And so you kind of know going in.
Yeah.
Everyone has their quirks. Everyone's going to bring a little something to the party.
I sure do.
Right? We all do. But it's okay because we can work through that.
Yeah.
But we have found situations, and it's rare, and I will never let it happen again, where you hire someone and the person that shows up on set is not the person that we've been talking to for the past 3 weeks in prepping. They put you in a corner and it's almost like, keep your opinions to yourself. I'll take it from here. And we're like, we didn't sign up for that. I
Yeah.
always say, they always tried to put Video Village like a mile away,
Yeah.
so we can't talk. We're like, no, we're front row clients.
Yeah, I
We
like to
want to
be
be, yeah,
there.
we like to share the director's monitor. Is that okay with you? And we do, and we're not shy to
Yeah.
because we owe that responsibility to our client.
I agree. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big piece of it too is yes, it's looking at the work, it's looking at the process, but it's also getting a sense for how you work and what sort of what your values are.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
it really is like a job interview. You gotta like dig into like if I asked your boss what your worst quality was, what would it be?
Yeah, right.
You
Yeah,
know?
right, right. Yeah, because you tend to work in close quarters. Like I said, you when it's showtime,
Hmm.
we're on top of each other. And I don't care if you have a crew of 8 or a crew of
Yeah.
38.
And
It's
long days.
in long days. So you want to be with somebody that you trust. I mean, it's a lot of money,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And it's sometimes a short amount of time to accomplish so much that
Yeah.
you owe that to your client, and they're sitting there and they're watching you,
Yeah.
and you try to go in as efficient as possible. But having a great relationship and being buttoned up when you go in there,
Yeah.
you can get through things quickly. And what that allows is to try things now,
Yeah.
right? So you're not having these little arguments of, well, that's not really what we wanted. Well, the director says I really want to go this way. And we're going to say, well, we
Yeah.
really want to go that way. You want to be on the same page because now you find you have some time. You go, hey, let's try this. And
Hmm.
that's fun. And sometimes that's where the magic happens.
I guess I didn't realize, John, but you're kind of a showman. You're kind of putting it on for an audience.
I, yes, I have had that conversation. Like, why does everybody show up and watch me work? Why does everybody show
It's
up
a
and
lot of
watch me? It
pressure.
is a lot of pressure. It
Yeah.
is a lot of pressure because you have to be on,
Yeah.
right? And so they say about executive producers is we solve problems you didn't know you had in
Yeah.
ways that you'll never understand. So, part of the job is to make sure like we don't have any problems. And if we do, I can solve them
Yeah.
and not draw a lot of attention to it. But so that's why it's so important to just have the best people to know that everybody here I trust.
Hmm.
And it's like a sports team, right? You want the right people on the field for the right play,
Yep.
for the right strategy, for the right move that you're trying to win.
Yeah. And hopefully we do.
Yeah.
Any other tips or tricks, John?
Uh, no, that's really kind of the hot button that I've had for a while.
No, I love it. It's
Yeah,
super helpful. I really do think for people who are in the beginning stages of their career, starting that early is just so helpful.
it is. It is. That's the other thing too, is like I love meeting with younger people, right? Some
Hmm.
people that have a little bit of experience that are out there trying to do their thing.
Yeah,
The work is good. It's more accessible now than it ever has been to
of
get
course.
into this business, right? I don't want to sound like the old man of the industry, but you had to have $1 million edit suite and you had to have a lot of money to start up. But now the point of entry is so low
Right.
that there's so much more to choose from. And because of that, you don't have to work with somebody that's going to bring a bad attitude. Your work is good, but so is his or
Hmm.
hers. But you know what? I kind of like them a lot better. So I
Yeah.
think I'm going to go this route. And I like working with younger people to give them an opportunity that maybe they would never have had.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me feel good to go like, no, you come
And some
with us.
mentorship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a mentorship. And I really do like that at this stage of my career is to bring people along, teach them, show them. And we've had people who are like, I don't know if I can do this job. You can absolutely do this
Yeah.
job. I have 100%.
And we're here with you every step of the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, you can't get hurt. We won't let you get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of fun too.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, John. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks for having me.